This is where my obsession with old cars started. It's my dad, little baby Don previously, and all of my dad's mates. They say unicorns don't exist. Well, this is my unicorn. (1970) Monza blue sandalwood interior. This is my unicorn. May not be your unicorn, but it's my unicorn. I have wanted one of these in this very specific colouring since I was a kid. I cannot begin to say just how weird it is finally having it. I finally feel like I don't need anything else. I just need to, I guess, bring this up to a state of where I'm happy with it. Holy crap. Holy crap. I'm freaking out and oddly calm. Ready to go to some people must mean a different thing, because ready to go to me means ready to go, but alas, not so much. I had concerns about the paint missing on the brake booster, and with good reason, because that is pissing brake fluid out. I could notice brake fluid on the ground after it had been here for a few hours too. Just down in here, you got that brake union. That top pipe is all broken. Well, it's not broken, sorry, it's just seized and not very good. Overall though, can't complain too much. The fuel bowls, these two back carbies, both piss fuel out. So those three items there, I'm going to suggest are not ready to go. But overall, it presents really good. When I was looking over this thing for rust with the borescope, I did notice that I fed it down through the flutes, and I could have sworn I saw bog pushed into the guard down there, but I was wrong. It was just full of trash. Absolutely full of trash. And this door does stick out a little bit at the bottom, and it's had quarter panel replacements and stuff, and you can see welds where bits and pieces have been done. The welds have not been cleaned up, and this corner here looks a bit weird. Can't really see it too much without me putting a bunch more light onto it. Inside's really good. Does have the wrong steering wheel. Well, it's the right reproduction steering wheel. We've got some autographs on the thing, but the interior is actually quite good. It's been retrimmed at some stage, and it's quite nice. But this door is not so nice. This door's had a repair after the original paint job. You can see the actual well, probably doesn't show so much here, but it is a different colour. The gaps are horrible. Closes up on this side. And over this side. It's very untidy up in there. The door gaps are bigger. But again, they haven't blacked out the strip. But in the big scheme of things, and there's heaps of paint defects. I'll make claim that this is a 8 or 9 out of 10 paint, but you know, when you look at it in the sunlight, there's defects everywhere. But it's really not about that. For the price I paid for it, I got an overall pretty good deal. It's a genuine GTR at least. So those LC 82911, that's what it's all about. But it doesn't have the original engine or gearbox. I don't really care about that. Alright, I'm just going to pop her up in the air. There we go. Bit of a closer look at that brake fluid leak. It's had a bit of juice floating around here too. It's constantly dribbling out of that brake bleeder. So it's got, I'm not sure if that's LH or LX front calipers, but I'm not sure if they've put the whole stub in. These things do have a problem with toe-in on turns, constantly scrubbing out the tyres. Don't know if they're the original springs. But I've always liked the height that these things sat at, pretty standard anyway. There's had a couple of new brake hoses on the front. So I'm sure that they're LH, these calipers. But you know, oil leak, yeah, sure thing, right? Whatever. I don't rate that in the ready to go, but you know, looks like this gearbox has been apart, but it is hemorrhaging oil from the selector seals. There's little O-rings that go on those shafts that are super easy to replace. Extension housing seal is it's damp, but I don't know if it's leaking. It's got a brand new tail shaft uni in it in the front and rear, in fact, but there is a lot of movement in that. There is a lot of movement in that universal joint. I mean, the exhaust sounds pretty cool. It's got a great little twin pipe. That's cool. It's a bit strange, but I'm not going to complain about that. It's all the bushes seem to be okay. It looks like it's had nolithane put in there at some point. New rear uni, but the front, the pinion seal is pissing out. It's just an open wheel diff, but it is leaking fluid like a sieve. But got the original rear bloody brake hose. This basket weave looking shit. That stuff should never be left on a car. It's got a terrible repair here. Well, I don't know if it's a terrible repair. They've replaced the sill, but they've left that little bit open. But yeah, overall, good from far, far from good. I've got a little bit of work ahead of me. Got a whole bunch of parts for it. There is a lot of dirty welds up in there. Looks like the whole back half of this car has been replaced at some point. Inside and the rear, on this rear quarter in particular, you can see join lines and stuff like that from the inside, all the welds. But not complaining about that. Not at all. In fact, how this thing looks is perfect for the price that I paid. When you work out, I'm not 100% sure if these are original, because they do reproductions of these. They're a little bit filthy for being reproduction ones. I don't know how long they've reproduced these ones for. This one in particular. I remember looking at this yesterday thinking, it's pretty putrid. That door, that'll bug me. But they've... Somebody's done a shit ton of work to this over the years. 55 years old, what do you expect? In a few months she'll be 56. She's older than me. Got a very fat set of extractors on it. Oh, where's my torch? You can see that bottom of that bloody intake manifold's been welded. I don't know if that's a common problem, whether or not they just did that to fill the gaps, but well, the size of those primaries, freaking huge. Right, then into 3, 6 into 3 into 1. You normally see 3 into 2 into 1 for those interference extractors. No retaining clip in there holding that together. I'll be making up a whole bunch of new brake lines and stuff for it. But anyway, that is pretty much a full tour of my Unicorn. Unicorn. What? Definitely got some stuff going on under the bonnet. Wasn't far wrong about that booster. She's running a solid cam. Worked out to about 412 foul lift overall, which doesn't seem like a lot for a solid. Yellow Terra rollers, 161 head, high compression. The triple CDs, not convinced. Never been a fan. Sure, they're cool, don't get me wrong. But I have got a plan. Cunning plan. We'll see what happens. Stay tuned for some more works. Ooh, carburetor. Ooh, carburetor choices. Choices, so many choices.